Got the powder room pretty much framed out now. The boxed out the pipe up the top and down the side, and a good size shelf area for behind the toilet above the cistern. Now I just need to organise for the plumber. That's the next step, so that he can basically provide me with the hot and cold tap for that, for the basin, the drainage for the basin, hooking in down, I'm thinking, with the toilet. I had a piece of 40mm pipe just to see if that would fit behind the downstack, because I'm thinking that he might be able to just go, drain pipe come out there in behind the framing here, kick around the corner there, and then it can come down and join into the outflow from the toilet. I don't want to go telling the plumber how to do his job, but I'll probably discuss that with him when he comes out, because I think that's going to be easier than trying to connect in with that stack, because it's all brand new work. He's not going to have to be trying to get into that stuff. We'll see. Well, I got that second set of lights resoldered, the base section, and it happened to be close to the same length as the other one, so I just started running it in the same direction. So now I've got two sets of strings of light along each of the beams, and again, not going right to the end of there because of what I've got over in the ends there, but that's lit that all up a lot better. And then when I got back to here, I basically came down and then looped this up to here, and then I stuck the little top section, because here's a little plug for that, and I ran that and then just started zigzagging that across, and then down here, and then back up here, and then down. I think that's where the loop ends, just to try and get a lot more light over the bench. I think it actually looks a lot brighter in the camera than it does in real life. It's a hell of a lot better than no light at all, because I can now be out here after sundown, and it's not like having, like, I don't have to have my work lights strung up in here. I can use them because I've got them under the house at the moment to light up where I was doing the waterproofing. I think if I was trying to do some accurate measurements and work in here, this is still not really enough light, which is interesting, because quite often when we put the Christmas lights on, we go, oh, that's so bright, turn them off. It's a good amount of light. It certainly makes me able to use the camera in here. I think if I ever, and I better, if I ever get the lathe, which is covered in crap at the moment, working, I'll need a better light over there, but at that point I'll probably find some sort of LED downlight. Actually, these little things put off a fair bit of light, and I've got those in the other sheds. And just like our storage shed, I've only got two of those in there, and that really lights up that space. I've got two of those in the temporary shed, and they light them up fairly well, but I think they should probably chew through the batteries. But I could probably get some pretty bright, like, strip LED lights, and I could still run them, because all of these lights here are running off the one plug, because it was all based off the one, it was all for the one tree with the one plug system. Kind of good that I got this set up. Haven't really gotten much physically done today. Put up a bit of the silver insulation up against the brickwork, because ground level's probably around here, so there's that cold coming through from the ground, but two, this is just a single brick wall, so the cold still comes through here. I mean, interestingly enough, before I put the fridge down here, I actually didn't need one. I could just sit the carton of beer in the laundry and it'd be cold enough to drink almost year round. So this area down here, because it's all ground on the other side of this wall, and then there's a cold air patch in there. If you touch those bricks, they're cold. And then the back of the house on this side, like there's a couple of windows, and it's just a single brick wall. So there's absolutely no insulation. So this is a really cold area. So got that up there. I've got a little bit of this silver insulation left, but I actually spent most of today just trying to find the stuff we need. My wife actually gave me a list of, order this, order this, order this, order this. So I've ordered enough of the Besser blocks to make that wall 1 block higher, and to do another wall up towards the driveway, which is going to be the side of the where we'll end up setting a fence to separate the front and backyard. So I've ordered all of those. That was 90 blocks, and I've also ordered the concrete and the mortar and the well, actually not the concrete, the cement bags, the mortar bags, and the sand gravel mix. That is probably going to arrive tomorrow afternoon, apparently. I've also ordered plasterboard for this whole laundry area. We've ordered the AquaCheck, which is water resistant, or moisture resistant for wet areas like bathrooms and laundry. So we're using that on all of the walls. Again, not that we expect to splash water everywhere, but this is a cold, damp environment from being downstairs and almost basement style. I've ordered the fiberglass insulation to go up in between this floor and upstairs. Like the kitchen's directly above me, and then the lounge is down that way. But I've ordered enough to do this whole space, the laundry area. Ordered the new pocket door frame and the door to go with it, and latches, and a latch to match on the door at the other end. More screws, plugs for going into attaching the framing to the concrete. Oh, what else? It's been a full-on day. I've just been online and making phone calls and checking prices all over the place, and more importantly, finding places that we're going to deliver. All of the concrete and gravel and that sort of stuff is a place just a couple of towns up, and they've delivered here before, so they'll be delivering that here. The plasterboard place is a place up in Katoomba. He said he should be able to get it delivered to here tomorrow. And I've ordered all of the timber to do all of the framing down here. The timber, the insulation, I've ordered more of this foil to do all the area, and I ordered enough, like a big enough roll, that I should be able to do the end room when I get to doing that. And everything and sundry. I can't even remember the list because I kept forgetting things, and I even had to ring back and say, whoops, I forgot something. That stuff should be delivered Tuesday. So when the plasterboard arrives here, I'll be able to get that down here and stashed away, out of the way. When the Besser blocks and all the concrete and all the cement and the mortar and the sand gravel arrives, I'll have to make sure I've got a tarp set up the top for them to dump the gravel sand mix out onto. And they might just drop the pallet off at the top, which means I'll have to carry all the blocks down here and the mortar and the concrete, the cement mix and all that sort of stuff. That's going to be in the afternoon though. So it'll be basically, I think tomorrow I'll be trying to get this space ready so that when the plasterboard gets here, I can get it in and down the other end and out of the way safely enough. It's been a full-on day. This is probably one of the things that would stop me from wanting to be a tradie, needing to organise all this stuff all the time. But I think it's doubly hard right now because everywhere I've been trying to find, like I can't order from Bunnings because I don't believe that they're delivering. So I've been trying to find places that will deliver here to remove the chance or remove the need for me to leave the house. If it wasn't for the state that the world is in right now, I'd think nothing of hooking up the trailer and running up the road and collecting all that plasterboard and bringing it back, or running up the road and saying, yeah, give me all the timber I need, and chucking it on the back of the trailer and that sort of stuff. Would have never thought twice about doing that. But the current situation is that you're trying to avoid going out. I mean, my wife managed to do some grocery shopping through USA Foods. They're based in Melbourne. The Sydney store closed down, which sucks. But there are some things that she said, well, maybe I can get them through USA Foods. So she's ordered those, and the boxes have arrived. So we've got to go through all that stuff and unpack the boxes. Full on day. How's your day been? Oh my goodness. So around 7:15 this morning, all my plasterboard arrived. Had to carry it from the top of the driveway down to here with the guy who delivered it. I just said, I'll put it on the trailer and I'll fix it later. And I'm moving it from here down into that shed for storage, so I just had to make space in there. That's all safely in the shed. If you've ever bought AquaCheck before, I think it's close to twice the weight of regular plasterboard. It's heavy stuff, especially moving it yourself. So that was a little exciting. Just went out the front to move the bins, and there was another red belly black snake in the front yard, but this time it was in the mondo grass, just come out into the sun in between the ponds and the house. Got a photo, but didn't want to spend too much time lingering and watching because I didn't know where he was going to be moving. So I went over and got the neighbour again when they were collecting, trying to get him, because once he came down, the snake started moving around and in through the pond and that sort of stuff. And my next door neighbour on this side goes, oh, that's where he went, because he was sitting in the front yard watching me paint. And then I wondered where he'd gone. So he'd come over here. So we're about halfway through autumn, fall, so you wouldn't think they'd be really active. The neighbour thinks it might be the one that was in the front yard before, because he said they're pretty territorial and they will try and come back. I mean, the last one was what? 3 weeks, a month back, maybe? But he bagged him up and he'll set him free again. If it was the same one, I'm expecting that he'll be back again. It wasn't in the exact same spot in the yard, so it may have been a different one. Neighbour will know when he has a better look at it. Got the tarp that I bought when I was buying the floorboards and used with the fridge. I've just used that to go over the top of this, because after taking that plastic off, which was coming to pieces, when we had some heavy rain, the ridge cap actually isn't that big on this, and the heavy rain and the wind just blew water, and it was just leaking straight through the centre of the roof into the shed. So I needed a cover on there to basically dry that space up again. So the other day, when I was using the drill driver, or the rattle gun driver, to put up the framing in the bathroom, it knocked off the framing and fell down. And these drills have dropped heaps of times. And when I picked it back up and started using it, and it felt like something caught on me. And there was a screw that was on the floor sticking out of this little hole here. And like it had well and truly lodged in. So I pulled it out, and then I wasn't really sure about the battery. I thought I could smell something, if anybody knows what a leaking battery smells like, but I just pulled this battery apart because the charge had gone down and that sort of stuff, and I was not too keen on actually putting this back on the charger because this had happened. I was worried about the fact that it might have gone into the battery inside. And so here is the battery component that goes inside this drill. Right there. Right there is where that screw went in. And it looks like there's a bit of liquid there. I peeled this back. Sure enough, the end of the battery looks like it's been punctured. There we go. So I will not be putting this battery back together and on the charger. It's dead, which was a shame because it was a 4 amp hour one, big 18 volt battery, and it was basically one of the spares in this system, in these drills. So, oh well, I'll have to get another one sometime. I'm just glad that the screw didn't go in and then fall out, and I never realised, and put it onto the charger, because I don't know what it would have done had it started getting electricity put into it. Maybe a big kaboom. So that was random. Just down here painting this beam and listening to Andy Pugh's latest episode of his podcast, Gratitude, and I heard a siren. And I didn't know whether it was in his podcast or not. And then I heard that up there. They must have been just coming down the street to see what was going on or survey the area.